Here we go. All right. Looks like we're live. Hello, Key Biscayne. It is Wednesday, April 11th, 2018, and this is your No One's Listening show, episode 106. I'm Rafa, and I'm your host. I'm here with the panel. To my left is Kelly.
Hello.
To her left is Dana.
Hello.
To her left is Manny.
Rafa, thank you very much. Good to be here.
To his left is Anna.
Hi, everyone. And Lala, I love you. Happy birthday.
And to her left is Mackie.
What's up, guys?
All right. Okay, we're going to start the show how we always start. It's called Weekend Talk. Who wants to go first? Maybe you, Manny, considering your accomplishments this weekend.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Rafa. I felt much better on Sunday. It was a rough weekend for sure, but it was an epic Key Biscayne weekend. We had the rib off on Saturday. I think record crowds showed up. It was highly publicized, and the patronage was great. Bob Kemper Memorial raised a lot of funds for him. Everyone had a good time. And then it poured on Sunday, so it was perfect to have it on Saturday. So it was a long day, and it was a good day.
But what about
Friday?
What about Friday, where you won the
Manny.
cornhole?
Well, Friday we won the cornhole.
Nah, come on.
We won the
Come
cornhole.
on.
Yeah, but we win that almost every year, so it wasn't a
No
big deal.
biggie. No biggie.
No, we didn't win it last year, but we won it the 2 years before that. But it was great. Calusa Club put together an amazing event once again. These guys outdo themselves. 32 teams in a cornhole double elimination tournament
At the Beach Club.
At the Beach Club. I mean,
Yep.
what a better venue. 6:30 to about midnight. It seemed to go forever. And it was great. We made it to the finals. We played Nick Zelaya and Harry Michelle, the young gun upstarts. Nicky was so hammered there by the end that he kind of threw the game away. So I appreciate that, Nicky. Thank you, man. And I did run into Nicky's dad at the party at the rib off on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
I introduced myself as the one who beat his son, and so we had to take a picture with like the big L's on the head, and we sent it to him. So I hope he got that thing. That was his dad's idea, Nicky. That was your dad's idea. So I apologize about that. You know I wasn't talking any smack. I left that to you, and I hope you had safe travels the next day.
Some other people were hammered, too.
Oh, me? So I
wasn't
sat
gonna
at
say
the
anything.
entrance the whole time, and the keg was right next to me, and it just you just don't notice the time passing, and then by the end it was KO.
Was that a
I showed up
success?
At the end,
That
it seemed like a super success.
Super success.
From an outsider point of view, because I showed up really late, I came late or whatever. But I get there and everybody was on the best vibe,
Yeah.
enjoying themselves. It was a good group of people. Everybody was watching the finalists like as if it were like the Olympics. It was cool. Very
Really?
cool.
Because I heard like, you
Congrats,
guys
Calusa Club.
suck, man. You guys are the finalists?
That was me.
Oh, thank you. Then Mackie was telling me about, I have to wear sneakers because I have flat feet, so my feet would take a beating. I need to wear orthotics, and I'm wearing my big black sneakers. And Mackie's he's like, dude, your legs look small in those big shoes. I go, man, come on.
Blame it on the shoes, man.
Yeah,
Blame it on
thanks,
the shoes.
Mac, I appreciate that.
You're
Rafa,
flat-footed?
did you guys sell some swag?
No, because I was waiting to give them all to the teams, and so I told everybody you can't buy any of this stuff because it's for the teams.
What?
And then by the end, the teams didn't claim their stuff, so I never got a good accounting of like how many. So I'm left with
What
like
were you
the
selling?
teams?
T-shirts?
we got like 20 T-shirts left. The one that Mac is wearing
Man,
right
that
now.
T-shirt
Those were for
is
the teams?
awesome.
Those were for
People
the
should
teams?
buy them.
Those
Like-
were for the teams, or you had to buy them?
You had to buy them, but they were reserved for the teams.
Oh.
Guys, leave
Yeah.
a comment in the thing and reserve one because they're really cool shirts.
Mm-hmm. We'll show you a little later, maybe.
Yeah.
Hi, anybody else have any weekend talk? I mean, we all did the same thing. Or do you have something? What?
Rafa, didn't you go to Tom Weber's party? How was that?
I did go to
Oh.
Tom's party. So Tom Weber has this we talked about it last week,
It's an office party.
pre-rib off.
Yeah,
I
nice
guess
office party.
You could call it that.
That's
Yeah.
what he calls it. It's his
Yeah.
office party.
So before the rib off, he has a little party to kind of practice, I guess. It's kind of the practice / party in the parking lot
There's a
of the
smoker.
Key Executive Building where the Islander is. And that's where he had this little party. I went. I had lunch there. It was great. And then I went off to the Cornwall Classic.
I did a drive-by to Tom's party. It's nice. I'm like, can we do this all the time? It's a cool space.
You know, one thing I just noticed is that even though I had said it before, it's weekend talk, but we never even introduced the guests.
We didn't introduce them.
So let's
go back.
introduce the guests right now. I mean, we said who they were, but Kelly is the editor for The Islander. Thank you for coming, Kelly. Anything you want to add to what you're doing now? What you're doing? I don't know.
Does it have to be over the weekend or just
whatever?
Because all I
want.
did this weekend was fly to Miami to be here for the week to work at the Islander.
So wait,
come to
tell
the
us
show,
where you're
right?
coming from and you know why you were here. So
Sure. I've worked at the Islander for about 15 years now. About 5 years ago, my family moved to Memphis, Tennessee, for my husband's job, and I continued working for the Islander, which has been great. And I come back, 3 or 4 times a year, just to kind of see people in person and
actually,
enjoy Florida. So
it's ironic because when you moved away, your role with the Islander really expanded.
It did, yeah. Well, I was lucky that at the time that I moved, it was Ann Owens still owned the newspaper at that time, and Nancy Ray was the editor, and we had a good relationship. So they let me stay, even though I would be working for them from afar. And then there's been some changes in the ownership of the paper over the past couple years, but through that, people have retired and people have moved on, and now I'm the editor of the paper. So
I mean, for what it's worth, you do an amazing job. We all know
Thank
how
you.
incredible
That's
you are.
very
You're
nice
you're
of
like a
you.
treasure for Key Biscayne.
That's really nice of you.
I actually need to pick your brain because I need to know how you do. I need to know how the logistics of this works. It seems like superhuman.
Honestly, I've been really lucky that the people who work for the village, it's remained kind of the same group of people since I started here a long time ago, which of course I think speaks really well for the village that they've kept people around for so long. But that's been really helpful because I already know those people and I'm used to working with them.
You did a lot of work with the village before moving out, so like
Exactly.
you were so involved that you were.
Right. I lived down here for about 10 years, and, I got to know people really well, and fortunately they're still willing to take my phone calls, even though I'm calling from Memphis. So I feel like I've been really lucky.
So was there
that.
something like special that brought you down this weekend? You only come at certain
Actually,
times?
we are our corporate consultants are here this week. They chose a good week to be in Key Biscayne, of course, and enjoy the nice weather. But we're just going to discuss the content of the newspaper moving forward and any improvements we can make. So, of course, if you guys have ideas for improvements.
Well, I mean, one thing I
be
like
happy to
that you
pass
did
them
those 5 things to look for on the
Okay.
weekend.
I like
Cool.
this
That was
too.
great.
Good.
I like that.
I like
Good.
those too.
Yeah.
And you know what? I do look at your website regularly because I think you guys, you kind of reach and hear from a different demographic of Key Biscayne than we do, which
Okay.
I think is really cool. And I look at your website for some of those events sometimes because I think that pulls in a different type of event than I'm seeing on the village website or something along those lines.
Yeah,
So,
I feel I feel the same way. I look at the Islander and
I was
I'm
gonna
just
say
like,
that.
who is going to these like bridge things in the calendar and stuff?
What, the cards? The
Yeah.
cards?
Yeah.
I love it.
I think it's great. I think it's great that there's a mix of old and young and newcomers and people who have been here forever. But, if you hear of something cool going on in Key Biscayne, I would love to hear about it. So
I think I started sitting with Bill, Bicycle Bill, because I saw that it's always on the Islander. And so I felt comfortable going there for the first time and actually meeting with him and getting to know him and meditating there at the Manny Meditation Center. But I think it was because I saw it in the Islander. So,
that's awesome.
there you go.
I'm glad to hear it.
And Dana?
So speaking of reaching to different demographics here, Kelly, we have Dana Joffrey here today. Dana, it's a pleasure to have you. I want to take the credit for inviting you here today. So
Yes, well, you should.
and personally welcome you here. I mean, I remember I met Dana, and Dana Joffrey. You're married to Ricky Joffrey. So were you always Dana Joffrey, or did Ricky change his name?
Oh, well, I started out as Dana Johnson from Wisconsin,
Okay.
So then I was Dana Domenici, and then I was Dana Joffrey. Now that sounds like a lot, but it's just really two different husbands and then my original name. So yeah, I was Dana Domenici in my 20s, and actually Kelly and I knew each other then because I did the PR for the Ritz in the early 2000s, so 2003 to 2006. I was Dana Domenici then, and so I was telling Kelly, you know what, we worked together then. And then I met Ricky, and after.
So how'd you meet Ricky?
I met him because I saw a photo of him. This is a classic story. My friend was out with her husband and some guys, and I saw a picture of him, and I said, "Oh my gosh, he's gorgeous! I have to meet him."
He was in Menudo, right?
He looks like he was in Menudo.
Yeah.
I totally
He
does.
wasn't?
He could have been. He could have been, but he wasn't. He's not Puerto Rican, so that would just wouldn't work out. But yeah, so I set myself up with him.
Well, lucky Ricky.
Lucky me, lucky Ricky.
And then, so you guys...
Yeah, we got married and...
decided to move to the Key.
We moved to the Key 5 years ago this summer, and it was an easy decision. We had friends that were out here with their families. We knew we wanted to start a family. Well, we had it. Actually, Julian was 18 months then. So yeah, came out here, and it was a homecoming for me because I really felt close to the Key working here from 2003 to 2006. And now, you couldn't take me off of the Key.
Nice.
I love it.
Well,
For reasons like you with the rib off and all these great people here, you can't beat this.
it's great to have you here, Dana.
Thank you. So good to be here.
All right. Well, that's your weekend and your new guests on the show. Welcome them. I can't look at the comments right now, but I'm sure you guys are very happy to see them. We go on to the next segment. It's called Music Talk. Don't laugh. It's called Music Talk. It's called What Are You Listening To? Do-do-do. I'll go first.
I'm joking, go ahead.
So last week after the show, we were hanging out here on the perch, and I had to put some music. I wanted to put some music on while we were hanging out, but I didn't want it to be too loud because I just moved in. And I don't want to bother my neighbors just yet. You know, it's a little too early.
Just yet, not yet.
I haven't even moved in, and I didn't want to bother my neighbors. So I go on, and I'm like, what can I put on? Whatever. Oh, so Paul Simon. And so then I looked for some Paul Simon, and then I find the best album cover of his album covers, in my opinion, Hearts and Bones, 1983. First song, it's called Allergies. It's about allergies, and it's pretty good. Check it out. Paul Simon, Allergies, Hearts and Bones. Okay.
I'm going to go last because I have like a half-hour story about my song, so go ahead.
Ladies, do you have something you've been listening to that you'd like to share?
Kelly, you first.
I'm too embarrassed. I have terrible taste in music, and I listen to a lot of top 40 radio because
perfect.
that's what my kids want to listen to. And I listen to a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old sing along badly to top 40 radio.
So give us a song.
Let's see. What's the one with Bruno Mars and Cardi B? That's her name. Yeah, I don't even know what it's called, but
Cardi
it's
B
pretty
is trending
terrible,
right
and
now,
it's
for
even
sure.
more terrible when your 9-year-old is singing all of the
Those lyrics.
words that 9-year-olds shouldn't be singing. So
Great. Now
there
all
you
of
go.
our listeners and viewers are going to be able to listen to it as well when we post it. Thank you, Kelly. How about you, Dana?
Well, I love country music, and I don't care if you guys don't, because I know people don't like it as much down here. But Kenny Chesney just came out with a new song called Get Along, and it is so wonderful. It just embodies everything we need to be feeling. There's so many differences, and just get along. We have one life. We got to go through this together, and I can't wait to go home to Wisconsin this summer for a month, sit in the fields, have a beer, and listen to that song.
Beautiful, beautiful, nice work. So I have a country band also. The Rolling Stones do some country stuff. They do some blues as well. There's a little tune off of Beggar's Banquet called Stray Cat Blues.
All right.
Rafa, turn that one up.
Yeah.
Can I just add something to that about the Rolling Stones? When I first met Manny, I was floored by his Mick Jagger impression. Have you guys seen it?
That's his
His
dance.
dance
I mean,
his
it's
dance
just
moves.
unreal.
You mean
It is
his one dance move?
It's his one dance move that is enough to make you motivated to hang out with Manny every weekend. It's unreal. I ask for it every time. I was begging for it at the rib off, and he delivered.
Dana, well, I remember, I'm sorry, Rafa, I know you don't like to change the subject, but I do appreciate that, and thank you. And we did meet during the karaoke days. I'll never forget the first time I saw Dana. I hate to, it's about you. It's not about Ricky, but Ricky was singing. He was his karaoke god. He was doing, I think, Rio by Duran Duran. And during his song, Dana managed to remove his shirt
Pre-children. All moms I'm friends with on Key Biscayne, pre-children.
Without using her hands. So you can leave that to your imagination. She was able to take off his shirt with her teeth.
We like to have fun.
And Ricky never broke stride, just like got out of it. And I was like, these guys, we got to get these guys on the key. And that's where the campaign began to get you on the key. So
Didn't take long.
it worked.
Neat. Okay, Anna.
I'll just be quick. I'll be quick. Galaxy 500. Song's called Don't Let Our Youth Go to Waste. And it's a cover from 1988 from the Peel Sessions, which was on BBC Radio. But it's a cover of a song that was written by Jonathan Richman from the Modern Lovers, which coincidentally...
Jonathan Richman.
Well, so I've been recently listening to the Modern Lovers, which is so weird that then I
Me
came
too.
across this song. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey. Yay, I love that. But it's just it's a coincidence that this song is a cover by Jonathan Richman. I didn't even know when I started listening to it. It is so good. And this band was from they're only together from 1987 to 1991. And whatever, I can go on and on, but I'll let the show keep moving forward. Mackie, what's your song?
Wait. Oh, Mac. Yeah, Mac has to go. Sorry. I had a question for Manny, but go, Mac.
Oh, so the other day, JT gave me, or Jeff Tellum gave me a USB with 3,000 songs on it. Every time I start my car, Mama Africa by Peter Tosh plays, and I've been kind of jamming out to that every time I drive anywhere. It's like a 7-minute song, so.
Mac, you always surprise me with good songs.
Andy Blanco just walked into the studio. Andy, how you doing, buddy?
Howdy doody.
Andy, we're going around doing what
he hasn't been on.
You know the bit. You got anything?
What are we listening to these days?
Yeah, this week, what have you been listening to?
I listen to about 30 seconds of any song, and I lose track of what I'm listening to, and then I forget, and I don't pay attention to much in terms of music. But lately what I'm listening to is the radio. I listen to you guys, if I can find it on the station. 104.1.
We're in the new media, man. This is Facebook now. There is no more radio.
Andy's an old man now.
Well, there's radio, but it's harder and
Video
harder.
killed the radio, man.
I made that joke last week.
That's a trivia song tonight. Video killed the radio. That's a song from.
Radio Star.
That's a line from which song tonight? Video killed the radio.
What?
Video killed the radio star.
Yeah, and that's the name of the song too.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. That's
Who's the
name-
artist?
That's the name of the song.
Okay, so who's the artist of that song? Dial in, Rafa.
It's probably already answered in the comments here. But don't worry. Actually, Manny, I did have a question for you, music-wise, real quick. What you were in your teens and 20s in the 80s, okay?
Yes.
But did you just skip out on all like new wave and stuff like that? You didn't like it? You didn't dig it?
No, I was more following another country band called the Grateful Dead.
Yes,
So,
I know, but they like that was like you were like, well,
that was mid to late 80s for me.
Okay.
Yeah, new wave. No, I never really got into it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I never really got into it. Depeche Mode and all that.
Yeah, I guess like
Yeah.
Squeeze.
Squeeze I loved, yeah.
All
Squeeze
right.
I loved. I liked ska. I liked
Talk to Rafa about that.
yeah, the mod move. I followed that. So, but never really got into the new wave as much.
Cool. Okay, moving on. You got a key hack for us? Key hacks is a new little segment where we tell you something you can do on the key. It's gonna make your life a little
Key
better.
hacks,
You probably hadn't thought
key
about it.
hacks. I'm sure a lot of you all know that know this already, but we have the Ritz-Carlton here, Key Biscayne, and there's a little bar down there called Dune Beach Burger Lounge or Dune Burger Lounge or something. It's a toes in the sand, great place. But the key hack today is, I don't know if you knew, but you can have what they call a key card. You go to the concierge, ask for a key card. If you're a resident in Key Biscayne, they'll give you a card. It used to give you free valet, which was really nice. Now it's just like, not anymore. I think the valet is like $7 now, but we never pay valet anyway. That's another key hack. Park down in the employee section. So
Don't tell everyone.
Well, that's part of the
then
key
we
hack.
won't have spots.
You gotta have
My-
a key hack.
My golf cart fits
Okay.
anywhere. Don't worry. No one's listening anyway.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Except for these 22 people.
Or the tennis center.
And And it also gives you a discount on, like on food and drink, like 20%. So get yourself a key card and go down there and check out the little beach lounge. It's really nice. It's a nice little hidden gem. A lot of people actually live on the Key and they don't know about it. So
Really?
yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Where do we get this key card?
Concierge.
Yeah, just go.
Well, I used to work for them, so I can tell you. You can go to the concierge, and they'll help you out.
Yeah. Mackie, you got to be 22 for the key card.
It's all right. I'm 22.
Woo! Man. So that's your key hack for the week.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Don't worry, Rafa. You can play it back and listen to it then.
Yeah, exactly. I was dealing with some other stuff. Okay. So now we get to the news you can snooze to. It's the talk of the town. The first thing is kind of serious, and we'll go from let's go from serious to meh. Okay, ready? At MAST Academy, I was told that a couple weeks ago, some kids put up a swastika in the bathroom, and maybe they were harassing a.
Boo.
Yeah.
Let's just say that right off the
Yeah.
fucking bat.
Yeah, you know what? I pulled up in my car like 4 days ago, and my car was like pretty dusty from all the construction. And there was like 30 swastikas drawn like all over my car in the
Are you
dirt. Like, someone
serious?
just took their finger and drew them everywhere.
Where were you parked?
On your car?
Yeah, where?
This was like, it was in my parking lot when I found
That's
it. I'm sure
absurd.
like
That's
it
not
happened the night
cool.
before, but I just couldn't see it in the dark.
Okay, wait.
Hold on a second.
Let me tell a story first, and we'll get into swastikas in town. Okay.
It's hard not to react to that.
It
So
is.
sorry.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So these kids put up a swastika in the bathroom. Apparently somebody knew who it was. This other girl. She confronts them. They break her glasses and harass her. And nothing came of it. Absolutely nothing. Everybody knew who it was and
Expel
who did
the
it.
students.
And nothing came of it. And I'm just wondering why this is happening at MAST. And I don't know if it's like they just don't feel like acting, or maybe they can be like, hey, don't do it again. Or I don't know what they were thinking, but nothing came of it. And now you're telling me this with the thing on the car.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder, because when I told this story to somebody else, they said, oh, this is all kind of trickling down from the national conversation, right? Like from the national impulse of this kind of thing, right? And so I thought that was kind of like far-fetched, but not really. I thought like, yeah, that could, I could see that. Like kids just see this stuff online and they're just like, well, I'll do it, just like when you see like a wrestling move or something and you act like an idiot because you're a kid. The drawing swastikas.
You need to educate them on what the fuck it means then, because that's unacceptable. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
fine. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I agree. More than that, I mean, Jesus Christ, like my whole high school was spent like being a little punk, like anti-fascist, and at the time, like it wasn't even a thing. And not to think that there's kids who think that's cool. Oh, it's a shame that 35-year-old men can't hit little kids really hard, because I so would like punch a kid and be like, you can't do that. Like that's like off limits. Like,
so what
the
do you
weird
do
thing is
there?
that there's no. What is MAST Academy saying? Like there needs to be some sort of like organization built within the school to deal with issues like this.
They're not. We don't know what they're saying at all. They just didn't.
You know what?
nothing
My
happened.
son goes to MAST. He's in 8th grade, and I'm on the 8th grade chat. All the parents, and it's like super active.
I know this was brought up.
No, it wasn't. So that's what I'm getting at. I mean, it's super active. Like everyone says thank you when somebody posts something. 85 people say thank you. So the fact that this wasn't brought up there leads me to believe, number one, it probably wasn't an 8th grader, and number two, I mean, we need to find out more about this. If this really happened, I asked my son about it, who goes to MAST. He hadn't heard about it. He's like, what? He was shocked by it too.
But if the family's known, and obviously we won't talk about that if it is, why isn't MAST then doing something about that so that child is suspended, kicked out?
We don't know, and honestly, it's
we
almost
don't
like
know
I'm
either.
just putting it out there because
How did
I've
you
heard it
find
from
out?
multiple
Sorry?
people, from a parent.
From a parent. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
they didn't know what action was being taken yet.
no,
Okay.
they
so we
kind of
don't
think
know
it. They spoke about it like it just got swept under the rug. Not swept under the rug because there was no rug. They kind of just brushed it aside.
So I'm hearing from a source on this.
Okay.
If you're
Yay.
interested, doing some reporting. They say the stories are a little mixed up. A girl was bullied for standing up against boys who were bullying a student and telling an African American student to go to the back of the bus.
Oh.
Which I think we can all agree is equally
Jesus.
horrible.
That's
Absolutely
And
horrible.
there was a
I'm upset.
swastika in a bathroom at MAST.
There's
so,
separate stories. Okay.
But which makes it even worse.
Even worse.
Because
It's like in person, like
So,
there's
so
just
what
like
happened,
confronting.
Kelly? What happened from what you're hearing regarding the girl who stood up for the boy on the
Good
bus?
for her for standing
Was there a
up.
consequence?
Good
And-
for her.
that I don't know
Okay.
if my source has any more information. They're welcome to let me know. But
So this is.
But yeah,
that is
Well,
even.
number one, I'm proud of the
That's
girl
even
for
worse.
standing up because that's the
Absolutely.
only way
That's hard
that
to do.
we have to say that.
Absolutely.
You know, like, especially if she got bullied afterwards, like that. That's horrible.
But can I pose a question? I'm from northern Wisconsin. Does this kind of thing happen in Miami? I thought this was
Never.
such a diverse
Excuse me,
place.
that's wrong. I'm going to answer that. I grew up in New York, and I moved to Key Biscayne when I was 13, 14. And I was really surprised at the amount of racist comments and stupid jokes that
Really?
kids were making here. That in New York I did not grow up
Okay.
listening to.
I didn't hear it
so
either. I
so
didn't hear
no is
racism where I'm
no
from.
is not true. I'm sorry,
But
it's
I mean,
really not.
Wasn't Wisconsin where that the gay kid was like tied to a fence? Or
No, that was
something?
Montana, and that was Matthew Shepard.
Oh,
I saw
Matthew
his
Shepard,
mother
yeah.
speak at the University of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Moved to the most tears of my life when that woman spoke.
Wow.
She came to visit. That was Montana.
So
And it was-
Wisconsin's a pretty liberal
no,
state, isn't it?
I mean it's pretty liberal, but of course you have conservatives as well, and that doesn't mean a conservative is
But this
racist,
is-
by the way.
yeah,
either.
I
that's-
think
that's a little-
guys,
little-
I think anywhere you live, like teenagers going through these things, it's a lot of stupidity and a lot of kids just like not knowing what's right and what's wrong, and they're
Right.
just questioning things, and that's why these things come up in high school.
Mhm.
But I mean, there needs to be a larger platform of education about these things. Honestly, about racism, about.
But
yeah.
did you ever see? Because you just said that. Yes, you're right that in Miami, there was much more. I guess what you would call like casual racism, or like the kind of racism
And I'm
where.
talking about Key Biscayne too, not just Miami. So
Yeah. I mean, I still hear it now.
Yeah,
Like,
I
but
don't know
but it's
why.
very. I would go as a step further to harass somebody for.
oh, I
being-
saw that too, and you were there.
What?
The harassment.
Really?
I'm not going to say where it was, but when we were like 18, it happened dirty in your face and my face.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
right.
So I saw it,
You're
and
right.
and our friend Andy here saw it. I'm not
Yeah.
going to talk about it. It's an ugly story, but
Wow.
yeah,
With violence.
with violence,
Yeah.
exactly. So harassment
gosh.
plus dirty, ugly violence.
What,
so
like racist or homophobic?
racist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry, I get so angry. I was there and don't like it. So.
well, I will say the Memphis is very much the South,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that goes along with being the South, and it's pretty bad. I know
It's
they're
existent.
the suburb I live in is a very family friendly, nice suburb, and there was a car parked in the high school parking lot for an event, and when it was a pastor, and when he got out, someone had etched "F-U" N-word in the car, and things like that happen more there than anywhere I've ever
Really?
lived. And it's
Yeah.
the South, and it's a little bit backwards, and the
Yeah.
thinking isn't very progressive. So I think it's everywhere.
Yeah,
I think
hearing
it's
back
everywhere.
from an active MAST parent here. Christina Del Valle, thanks for chiming in on the chat. MAST just held a bullying workshop with 4 representatives from each grade. So there's no doubt that they're addressing it as well.
Yeah, they have
It's
to.
a hard thing.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think there's a bullying issue at MAST in general?
I think there's a bullying issue, for young teenagers. I think it's just
Okay.
something that happens. So
Yeah.
let's move on, Rafa. What else do we have here?
Let's see. You guys want to talk about the village manager? No. But I'm going to mention it because I think it's important for people to know. Okay. So the current village manager, his name is John Gilbert. He is retiring, and they're looking for somebody to replace him. Now, the talk around town is that they don't want somebody local. Okay? But they put out this bid of they got this guy to go find people to find people for the position, and he came back with a list of names, and then Chief Press put his name in, and we talked about this, right? Then, wait, I can see you. I don't, like, what are you laughing at? I don't know.
No, we like your visual, Rafa.
Oh.
No, the visual was good.
You dropped the picture of John Gilbert in there.
Oh yeah, that's so people know what he looks like.
It was really good.
Wait, how do you guys see this?
And the Facebook.
Manny's watching
yourself?
as we.
Nice news editing.
This is ridiculous. Okay, so anyway, this guy, he goes, finds some candidates, and then Chief Press puts his name in. And then, so people are thinking, we talked about it, is Chief Press really going to be like in the thing, or are they actually looking for an external candidate, or are they just going to bring Chief Press in? But it turns out they didn't want Chief Press at all, and he pulled his name out. Somebody must have told him, like, hey, we don't really want you, and then go back. We want you as police chief. We love you as police chief. Go. So right when they had the whole problem solved, Joe Rasco, former mayor of the Key and guy who founded one of the founders of the Key.
I think Joe's actually a village manager down.
He is head of the Office of Intergovernmental Affairs at Miami-Dade. He puts his name in. Well, his name isn't even in. Yesterday at the council meeting, a bunch of people showed up and they were like, "Hey, we want Joe Rasco for the position."
Kelly, you were at the council meeting. What happened there?
There were, like Rafa said, there were a couple people who came up during public comment to promote Joe as a candidate, based on his experience and many years on the Key. And I think there's, especially since Chief Press took his name off the list, because he's done such a great job out here, and he's very well liked and deservedly so. I think people are wanting to see more candidates, and so there's apparently.
So are they not? They're not satisfied with the 3 others that were pulled up by the consultant?
I don't even want to say that they're not. I mean, especially speaking from the council's perspective, I don't think they're necessarily dissatisfied with those individuals, because it's a good list and they have a lot of good experience, but I think they just want more to choose from. And it's such an important decision for the community, because the council itself is going to change a lot with a new mayor. Both Myra Pena-Lindsay and Frank Kaplan are term limited from running again, and they have so much experience. The council will change, and having the position of manager also change when there's so much going on with possibly burying power lines and beach restoration and all of these big issues facing the community. I think there's just a feeling that they have to be really careful to get the right person.
So is it fair to say that they have not finalized their list yet?
Yes, they instructed their consultant to reopen the advertising for resumes, and he will review them on a consistent basis. And once he decides that he has a list that he's happy with, he'll represent it to the council.
Who's he? I'm sorry?
He is...
the consultant.
The consultant,
okay,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, once he has a list that he thinks is quality, he'll represent it to the council. And
is there a timeline for that?
The timeline, or the time pressure, is that they want someone in place by the time they have their budget workshop in June. So, and my understanding is they kind of would like that person, especially if it's an outside candidate, to shadow John Gilbert while he is still manager, and I believe he is here until September.
And when should we expect the mayoral candidates to be standing on the corner of Crandon and Harbor?
The most wonderful time of the year. I believe the mayor candidates...
2018, right?
Yeah, it'll be... I think they qualify in... I haven't looked at the dates, but I think it's June or July. And then the council candidates usually qualify in August, and I've already heard there's a lot of interest in both. So
can I just get it on record right now that you will come back to Rat Radio the next time when you're down for that time of year?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, I have a question for you.
As long as there's more rosé, I will be here.
Well, I have a question for you, actually. Do you ask that question, Manny, because you're considering
running for office?
Because we've all wanted you to run for mayor for quite some time.
Breaking news.
Listen, I'm just Chico's.
Are we getting it here?
I'm Chico's driver, so.
You're more than that.
Chico is.
But we want to hear it first.
Man, you should go in for the manager position.
Something. He's got to do something.
That actually pays, you know. And
I've got a job, dude. You should.
Go ahead.
Why don't you jump into that?
Yeah, I mean, I had thought about it once I found.
Busy with the
Can I jump?
Everyone else is throwing their hat in the ring, man. You go for it.
I've got to do the little graphics on.
Can I jump in? I got to give a shout out to a Facebook comment from Bill Stevens. I met him about a year and a half ago at a council fundraising event, and he brought up a term I had never heard before, and he brought it up tonight on Facebook, NIPA, non-income producing activity. And he said there's so much of that going on the Key. There's so much of that on the Key, and now that I'm a mom, I see it. I mean, you could make your whole week out of that. Be the PTA. Those women are working so hard. There's so much to do. You could have your own neighborhood association, and it can drown you out. There's so much to do. So shout out to Bill Stevens for that, because he really coined that term.
Speaking of that, the show is brought to you by
us.
It will be. It will be soon enough. Brought to you by something.
Can I ask Kelly how the vibe was last night, or how the atmosphere was in the council meeting with so many things on the table?
I thought
Sorry
it
to
was
put you on the spot. You don't.
no. That's I thought it was good actually. You know, I've been at meetings where it feels a little tense and a little bit, you know, like people are struggling to find a productive way to work with each other,
Of course.
which is there's
It's
no
natural.
blame to be assigned. It's, you know, a lot of strong opinions and intelligent people trying to work together, and I think all of their hearts are in the right place to do the best thing for the community. But I felt like they got down to business as much as they could. They did not make it through the vast majority of their agenda, which is, I feel like that's something that it was a big agenda, and, you know, maybe something they need to find a way to address so that they are getting through what they need to get through. But they got through the important stuff, the manager, and talk about expanding the community center, and you know, a few other issues that are kind of pressing. So I felt pretty positive about it. I was glad when it was over, but who wasn't?
Well, they go on and on too. You know, it's like, come on, guys, let's. But there's no way. There's no way. You know what the thing is? Since they're not legally allowed to talk about things outside of the council. Even though I hear some things that sometimes some things happen, they can't come to a consensus before they get to the meeting, you know? So it's just they get to the meeting and they have to, like, go in blind to, even though they might have, like, a hint of what their colleagues are going to think or whatever, they don't know exactly. So they have to go through the whole conversation right then and there, which is, like, when they could just be voting on things instead, you know?
We had a viewing party once at Manny's house, involving beers and me taking all the notes, which was like 100 pages of notes. I got stuck while you guys would like walk around the house.
That's actually fun.
It was fun.
For a
it was
council
actually
meeting.
really fun. But
We did it during the election.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was a debate, the election debate.
It was
wasn't
fun, but it was very long. Yeah, I don't think we lasted the whole thing.
I personally would get rid of the sunshine laws for us, but that's another thing that would be too long to debate right now.
I won't even ask what sunshine laws are.
I would trust our elected officials, but that's
Wait,
just me.
get rid of them?
Well, get rid. I would give them an exception. Like, I would let them discuss things outside on the Key. I would let them.
No way.
Yeah, I
Can't
would.
do that.
Why? How?
What do you mean?
Insider trading.
Like
That's
it-
Yeah.
Why? They can just like the same way.
Self-formed
Look,
voting
this is the
blocks.
thing. This is the thing. You're allowed to. I'm allowed to talk to you. I'm on the council, okay? And I have some. You're putting up a building. I'm allowed to talk to you about me voting about your building or whatever, and doing that. Totally legal for me to have backroom conversations with you, okay? But I can't talk to the other guy on the council about things
So
that are
all of a
happening.
sudden
on
I
the
have
But
a
the
back
ideas
room
are being formed without people's general. You know what I mean? Like they're developing ideas without.
But that's already happening. It's just not between them. It's only between them and the people
Community?
that vote for them and give them money, basically. The
Yeah,
people
but
who
what if those
fund their
people decided
campaigns.
to bring 3 council members over for a nice dinner somewhere
Insider trading.
and lobbied them 3
Okay.
at a time. You can't do that.
But you can do one at a time.
Okay, so you can do one at a time. but
That's
you can't
and
do
that's all right. Like, if you trust the council, I guess we don't trust them. We don't trust these people. You're like friends with all of them almost.
I didn't say I didn't trust them. I'm just, I'm just saying there's a lot of special interest out here. Everybody wants their kid to play shortstop.
Okay. Well, that actually is a great segue to the next thing we're going to talk about, which is, remember a couple weeks ago where we talked about this guy who put a sign in his yard, okay?
Backward
it says,
home.
Yeah, it says back homeward. It's in quotes. It's from it's on MAST if you want to go see it, and it's a Beatles quote.
Once there was a way
to get back home.
Oh, I like the B-roll there, Rafa.
Okay.
Oh no, we're
Once again.
Yes. So that's the sign. So we talked about it. I think it's I feel bad calling the guy out more than once, but
not by name.
I'm just saying, like, I feel bad that.
Rafa, let's just take a quick second here to thank Kelly Josephson for joining us today.
Thank you, Kelly.
A little break, awesome. Kelly. Yes, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
I hope
I wasn't too boring.
I hope
Kelly, you were awesome, and you already promised to come back.
Absolutely, that'll be fun.
I hope you'll come back when.
Thank you.
Whenever you come back.
Great to see you
Kelly,
again, yes.
I also want to know if you might want to be a judge. Maybe Mackie, give her that. We need a celebrity judge for the rib off next year. It's a barbecue rib off, Kelly.
Did I not tell you how I feel about barbecue?
That's true, Manny.
I will. If there is free beer involved, I will overcome my aversion to barbecue.
Does your husband like barbecue?
My husband loves barbecue.
Okay, so why don't you make it a family trip back down to Key Biscayne?
Yeah.
You handle the beer.
Okay.
Your husband handles the ribs.
Perfect.
All right.
We will bring some Memphis expertise to the rib-off.
That's what I'm talking about.
Awesome.
Legit.
Okay.
All right. Safe travels, Kelly. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Mackie, why don't you jump in the hot seat here?
The hot seat. All right.
Okay, guys. So what I was saying about the signs.
I hope we didn't lose her before we had the talk of the town that we actually could use her opinion on.
Well,
which one was that?
I don't know, man.
No, this one you guys already had strong opinions, so it's good enough. It's good enough. Okay.
Rafa, did you put a picture of the sign up on the?
I did.
B-roll.
I did. Here's the sign, the back homeward sign. So as I was saying, this guy puts his sign in his yard. You're not allowed to put. I learned in the meantime from the last time we talked about this. You're not allowed to put commercial signs in. Those are regulated, like the sign of the size of a real estate sign that says for sale. That's regulated, but other things are just kind of regulated, but not really. And this is where this all gets very interesting. Okay, so, you know that house on Harbor that has that little boat in the front yard?
It's a little
It's like a little mackerel with the little.
Now I'm knowing.
little
Yeah, that.
Turned it into a potter.
Exactly.
Yes.
Against code.
Christiane Leo's house.
That's against code. There's a house on Harbor with a little sign that says open in neon.
And we also like that.
That's against code. There's other people who have just the name of their house on the front of it. That's against code. So, this guy has this thing on his house, and he gets called out for it. And now the conversation is, well, why are they only picking on him when there's all these other ones? Now, I can tell you why they're picking on him is because his is the ugliest one. But it doesn't go with the rules, right? So the other part of this, and speaking of the sunshine laws and stuff like that, is that it seems like code enforcement only enforces what the people on the council tell them to enforce. So unless somebody on the council says, hey, what's up with that sign?
Which is what happened.
Yes. So unless something like that happens, nobody does anything about it, kind of. Unless it's something really obvious, like a for sale sign or something like that. But anything else is kind of like, oh, you put a tree house in your front yard, it's all right. You put your little kid's play set in the front yard, no problem. Right. But you put a sign out that the council doesn't like, then they go after you.
So Rafa, I mean, okay, we know about what the council likes or doesn't like and the action that they've taken or haven't taken. Dana, you live right next door to that sign. What's the beat on the street? What are the neighbors saying that have to see that sign every day?
People don't like it.
Can you tell us what you said earlier? Because it's funny. It was really funny.
I mean, I don't want to offend because it's neighbors, but it looks like a Greek restaurant. I was a little shocked. I thought, do we get a good Greek place around the neighborhood?
I love that. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then I started
Did you show up there one day and be like,
well,
start
no, and
breaking
then
plates?
I wanted to because I was like, it looks like a great place to go. It's waterfront Greek restaurant, maybe.
That is
But
funny.
Nice.
that being said,
I'm down.
I would go there. But the other thing is I started running on MAST recently, and I was like, maybe I should make my loop so that when I'm hitting that house, I'm like, girl, you're back homeward. You are back homeward. You are almost there.
It's like a
so it could be an
motivation.
encouragement. Let's see. I don't mean to be mean because it is a neighbor, but it looks like a Greek restaurant.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah, so
It
I
does. It
agree.
totally does.
I'm not the biggest fan of the actual sign, but there is a point to be made about selective enforcement, right?
Of course.
You know what's the worst part is that this guy's ugly sign is going to ruin it for everybody, basically.
sure.
You
Good
know what I
point, good
mean?
For
point.
sure.
It's
The
like-
cute boat now,
Yes,
is in danger.
Yeah, the cute
Oh,
boat
the cute
is gonna,
boat, though, huh?
I love the
It's
cute
cute, but,
boat.
you know.
Oh, you'd get rid
There's
of
I
it.
like the open sign,
I don't
too.
know. I don't
Maybe the
but I'm-
council likes it.
I just think that you have to have enforcement across the board. And I've seen other signs too where I thought, oh my gosh, sometimes I just laugh that there's these signs in front of houses.
Right? People are really
And I
tacky.
do
There's some
believe in
names that are
enforcement a
silly.
bit. I have to say. In my older years as I approach 40.
I wonder if there's any way to enforce his and not remove the boat.
Well, that's what.
Or
Well, you
the
can
open
have a
sign.
Save the
that's
Boat
what they're doing.
campaign.
That's what they're doing, but he's
Save the boat.
he's made a good point that or somebody's made a
His
good
is
point.
very close to the sidewalk, and it's a large
It's
sign. It's
big.
deceiving. It's confusing. Is it a Greek restaurant?
Are we going to the
Is it
Greek
not?
restaurant on the water? Because if so, let's go.
I'm
I want to
so
be there.
down.
Let's go. Nobody's there.
Let's go.
Opa.
I wonder
Oh,
what's
poor
gonna
guy.
happen. I'm glad we're talking about it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
we're gonna be able to look back. And
Well,
see,
I can tell you what's going to happen is that at some point, like a third person will put up an ugly sign, and then it'll be like we got to get rid of them all. They'll let his slide because it's easier and it's at the end of MAST and only you see it, Dana. Sorry, you're the only one who has to live with it.
But I haven't complained. But I haven't complained. I will say that I haven't posed it to any neighbors. I was more excited about the restaurant possibility, but I haven't complained.
Well, actually, I was going to talk to Mackie about starting a little side hustle, putting up signs in front of people's houses. I mean, that sounds like a
do
great
you
gig,
mean?
doesn't it? I mean, what do you want to call your house? What do you want to put out in front of your house?
I don't know, man.
I wish I had a house.
Mackie's house.
I wish I had a house right now to try to take it
Test
to the
the
next.
water
Yeah,
out.
to
What do
test
you
the
mean?
waters
You have
to
this
take it to the
beautiful
next.
place right here.
Yeah, but
Why
I
don't
can.
you start putting
Perch.
some things on
but
the screens
I
here?
can get
The
called out
perch.
by the building.
Oh,
you
there you
know,
go.
that's like HOA stuff. So I don't have my own house
Yeah,
to
and
be
you
like.
just got here.
Well,
Yeah.
I know what I'll be putting in front of my house come 2000. Well, no, we are 2018, the mayoral race.
Oh.
I'm going to put Manny for mayor.
Manny for mayor.
Well, political signs are allowed.
Right
Yes, they are.
But no, I would start with putting the exact same thing as this guy. Put the exact same thing and see if people take it to the next level. But in the end,
Maybe
that's what's gonna happen.
Alvaro has a great idea.
Uh.
What if everyone copied the sign and put it in front of their own house? Maybe the council can make it the back homeward sign mandatory. That you got to have the back homeward sign or some kind of
love
something
it.
from a Beatles song.
also
You
I
gotta
thought
have
that I thought that the family was Greek because of the letters.
You
the
did too, so you
topography,
did too.
But they're not. It's something else that also
Okay,
uses
but
that kind of
maybe-
typeface. I don't know.
I'm sorry because I interrupted. We can't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe they could open up the home, which looks quite beautiful, for Greek food once a week.
You're starting
And
to
then-
say it's got a
then
one-track
I want to
mind.
go
Then
there.
we'll
I love.
accept
I
it.
got a Greek salad in my head
Yeah.
right now. I want to go
Then
every
we'll
time I go by
accept
there.
it.
A little gyro cart there selling gyros, making
Ooh,
extra
with a little
sauce.
truck.
too.
Which, by the way, we missed the
Extra
weekend
sauce.
part. We might want to bring up the truck.
I love the sauce.
Hey, Ricky, there's your key hack right there. Order out some Greek right now. Dan will be home in about 20
good
minutes.
idea. Thank you. Thank you.
The funny part, and I don't know if we should say this, but I touched it recently, and it's not even made out of stone.
You touched it. That
I
is so cool.
touched it.
Hey, don't put that picture up.
What?
No,
Oh,
definitely not. The what picture?
That would be a good
What
B-roll.
picture?
That would be good
But
B-roll.
But I
Exactly.
touched it with
That would
my
be good.
hand, and it's not even a stone wall.
Find it on the scavenger hunt.
No, for sure.
That'd be too easy.
Well, it's a good one though.
Yeah, you said it was made out of plastic, right?
I'm pretty sure it was made of. I don't remember well that moment, but I'm pretty sure it was made out of plastic.
So that's funny. Yeah.
I
I-
like the B-roll again, Rafa.
You know what? I'm gonna even put it out there, guys. Send us, tag us, and send us your photos of your lawn signs.
Yes.
Okay. It's open
Oh.
season for lawn signs on the Key. Everybody put one up. Your favorite lyrics. You know,
That'd be awesome.
something funny. I don't have the funny lyric, but maybe you do. Put it up. Tag us in the picture. We'll bring it up next time.
Good call, Rafa.
All right.
What else do we have?
Well, it's Wednesday, April 11th, 2018.
Lala's birthday.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Lala.
Happy
Good
birthday,
friend of the
Lala.
show. It's your No One's Listening show, episode 106. Somebody answered the trivia, but I couldn't look at it because
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. They can come down to Dune on Friday night. We'll buy them a drink
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
between 6 and 9.
All right. I want to talk a little calendar. Are you guys ready for that? Or not?
Sure, why not?
Sounds good. Okay. On Saturday, April 14th, there's an electronics recycling drive. You take your electronics to be disposed of, and they will dispose them. No white label goods like stovetops and dryers and washers, but everything else that's electronic, your computers, your batteries, all that
Where's
kind of
that?
stuff.
The Village Center?
It's between the Winn-Dixie and the Village, and they're on Enid. Okay,
Yeah, right by that illegally parked car that's been there since Hurricane Irma.
there you go, exactly.
Everyone knows where that is.
Yes, selective enforcement. They must be
Yeah.
friends with the.
Key Biscayne bad
they must be.
parking.
They must be friends
Superstar.
with somebody on the council.
Yeah. If they would have at least parked it well, they took a spot and a half. So.
Okay, so that's where the electronics drive is. It's on April 14th.
April
Saturday.
14th is also the PTA party for the KBCS. Are you
Okay.
going to that, Dana?
I am, and first of all, shout out to the PTA moms. My gosh, they were.
Nippa.
They are, but they're unreal. They are like they need our support and our accolades for all the work they've done. And there are some awesome auction items that will be at the event, and it sounds like it's going to be a great time. It's my first PTA event. My child's a kindergartner, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Key Biscayne Yacht Club, Saturday night, the 14th.
Nope, Grand Bay.
Oh, it's at the Grand Bay?
Yeah, it's at the Grand Bay.
Really?
And when you support your local school, I mean, at least this is my Midwestern self feeling this way. You support your local school, you support your community. So, $75 a ticket. They're probably going to sell out. So if you want to go, you better get it now.
We also have the Ha Ha Fishing Tournament next week.
Yes, that starts on the 17th.
17, 18, 19, 20. It's a 4-day event. You're able to fish 3 of those days. Actually, we're lucky today because we're in the presence of greatness, a former champ or defending champ.
Defending champ.
Oh,
Defending champ from last
fancy.
year.
Hey.
Fancy.
I can only fish 2 days this year, so you guys might have a chance.
Oh.
There you go, Mackie. It's
What-
easy to win 1. It's hard to win 2 in a row.
What's your boat name, Mac?
Silver King.
Oh, there you go.
Mackie fish. Who do you fish with, Mackie?
Fish with the old man.
That's all right.
So this
Nice.
is April 17th through the 20th at the Key Biscayne Yacht Club. After work, you go and you fish for tarpon. You get to fish 3 days? 3 days of the...
3 out of
3 out
4.
of 4.
3 out of 4 days, Tuesday through Friday. And then on Friday, there's a little party at the yacht club. So even if you don't fish, get out there. It's a good time.
It's a great
In the
event.
past, we've
And
had
our
a
buddy-
nice playlist while that was going on. I don't
That's
know if
right.
it's gonna happen this year.
It might just
But we
happen.
did
Tune
a
into the
really
radio.
Nice show once.
Yeah, from
and
the...
a really good playlist.
Yes.
For all the fishermen out there. It'd be nice to do that again.
It would be
I have an
nice.
event on Sunday to give a shout out towards. It's the Healthy Kids Running Series.
Okay.
My friend Yvette has done an amazing job at promoting this. So all the kids come together. They have different age groups that run. It starts at 4 o'clock on the Village Green. You can sign up for all 4, which some already have, or per race. And it kind of got me running, to tell you the truth.
That's a
It's
great
fun.
job Yvette has done with that.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is. I also have another Key Biscayne Beach Cleanup Day. It's
Yay.
actually every day. So when you go down to the beach, take a bag and fill a bag. When you fill that bag, take a picture of it and send it to us at Key Biscayne Cleanup. We'll give you a shout out on Facebook and share something positive, something that's real news, something that's not about Trump or the Russians or a school shooting or something like that. So
Or
send us
the
a picture of yourself.
nastiness at MAST Academy.
Yeah, send us a picture of yourself cleaning up trash at the beach. Every single day is Beach Cleanup Day on Key Biscayne.
Okay, on Sunday, April 22nd, is the Eileen McCon Scholarship Pasta Dinner. It is at the, if I remember correctly, it's at the golf place. It has a name, but...
It's at the Links.
At the Links.
Yeah.
There you go. And the restaurant has its own name, too. It's there. Check it out. Go on Facebook. You can probably find it, or go on the internet. On Friday, May 4th, is the 4th of July barbecue, which is going to be awesome.
Band?
We are looking for a band right now. Actually, we're still looking for the band, okay? Look, I'll tell you what happened, okay? We have a budget, and our budget got out of control. And we need more people to come to this barbecue. Last year we had a great band.
I'll buy a ticket right
we
now.
gotta push this then. We can do this.
We are pushing it, man. We're
but
pushing
ask
it.
for help from people like me. We'll
He has
do
the
it.
best
It's
poster in town.
Friday, May 4th.
And how much? Where?
It's $30. Everything you can drink and eat.
Okay.
We got Novecento doing the barbecue on site.
Amazing.
Okay. And it's gonna be a great time. Every
Beach
year,
Club.
yeah, every year we get a great band. So
It's a top 5 party on Key Biscayne.
Yeah.
Okay, this has
I'd
got
say
to
top
get
3.
sold out, guys.
I'm not worried that we will get a great band, even though we haven't booked them just yet. But and I got a call today about somebody saying like, "Hey, I think we got somebody really good." I keep trying to do it every year, like a different band, right? Because I don't like the idea of getting the same band all the time. But what are you laughing?
Is this the logo,
That
Rafa, for the
maybe-
T-shirts this year?
Yeah, no, that's the
Nice.
poster for the barbecue.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I was
Do,
just
do
thinking.
not
you
gonna put a
offer that-
sausage
do you
on the
offer that-
T-shirt.
Do you offer that poster for sale? Is that swag at the next Calusa Club
That's
event?
funny. You want one? Because I have one in my car. I can just give you one if you want.
100%.
Yeah.
You should give that as a prize
They're
for trivia.
They're actually pretty big. They're like 11 by 17.
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
it
What do you want?
framed.
Like a little
but
flyer?
you need more people to attend, and that's what the whole budget thing is. Because we
So
will
look,
get that
this is
sucker
no.
sold
This is
out.
what happened. I'll tell you guys the backstory. So I joined the committee and I take over the barbecue. It went from like 20 people to suddenly the first year that we were there, it was like 200 people. Okay, awesome. We're doing good. Freaking Lose Dogs play. They kill it. I loved them. I want to get them back, but it would be like on the 5-year anniversary, of the barbecue being awesome. So,
So how many years has this been going on?
so the barbecue has been going on
Forever.
Forever, right?
But
Yeah.
wait, it was before I joined the committee. They had kind of let it go, and it was an
The
afterthought.
last 2
and it had
years
like
have been epic, Dan. Have you been to those?
I have not.
Oh.
No.
It's really
Can I
fun.
can I
Josh
tell you a quick
Panda
story?
played, and then last year Patrick and the Swayzes played.
Yeah.
And I
Those
heard,
days
but
were
let me tell you
awesome.
guys a quick story so that other people who may not be part of the crowd that grew up on Key Biscayne know this. I was a diehard go to Wisconsin 4th of July girl my whole life. Last year was my first year on the Key for 4th of July. I will never leave. I planned my trip to Wisconsin now 4 days after. That was the most amazing time. That
It's all
parade is
because
so
of Rafa.
special. But I didn't know. And so you guys have to remember there's so many people here that don't know these things that we got to let that message get out to.
Dude,
That's a not.
it
You
is-
can't miss an
you know-
event.
You know what? It is one of the saddest things when I hear that people are going out of town for the
Oh,
4th,
yeah.
because it's like it's the one day of the year that the Key is
The Key
on
comes
fire.
together.
It's like the Key is just.
I'll be out of town the 4th this year.
Oh,
boo.
Yeah, but I'll be here for the party on May 4th, right? So,
Okay.
there you go.
So that's
But that-
back to the calendar.
4th of May,
It's
here we go, back to calendar.
May
Friday,
4th.
May 4th. Come to the party. Let me show you the sign again.
But I think people need to know though
poster.
to
Great
support
design.
something that's so
Congrats.
great, because I have to tell you I didn't go to the party before because I'm like I'm not here on the 4th. I'm not connected to that.
No.
It's not what
You
it's
got-
about.
Right.
Not what it's about.
It's not what it's, but it's so exciting. And
it's
you
a
wanna support it once
fundraiser,
you-
and we are trying. My goal with this thing is to make it a great party where you always hear great live music. Okay,
Okay.
that's what I want. Like I don't want
Outside.
outside on the beach. I mean, it's at the beach club, Friday, May 4th.
We danced a lot last
Barbecue,
year.
everything's included. All the food, all the drinks. There's rum by a company called Zafra. It's all.
Let's work
it's
on
really
the band,
good.
That's
Rafa.
nice.
Let's work
Huh?
on the band.
Manny will
Yeah,
get it
I mean,
going.
I got somebody on it right now who told me, "Hey, I think I got a great band
All right.
ready to go." So,
And if we
I'm
need
not
someone to
worried.
help underwrite the band,
oh,
Ricky,
that's a
Ricky
thought.
just offered to help out here.
I think we can find people though. So seriously, let's talk. If there's some
We
issue,
have so
there's
many
more than enough.
band people in our lives.
The problem with the 4th party is that the band needs to be able to do covers and want to do them.
Hey, we don't like them.
And
Oh,
I'm
We
not,
are friends.
I'm not big on covers, but the crowd is. You know
crowd
what I
is.
mean?
for
You gotta
sure,
play the
man.
crowd.
You
Yeah,
got
it's
to do what the crowd
multi-generational
loves.
too
One day
out
we'll
there.
have a party where it's not.
Make that a
covers.
different party.
Yeah, a different party. Exactly.
Because I don't want to go to that one. I don't wanna go to
Exactly.
covers.
Nah. Yeah.
Go to Wisconsin.
I'll be
No
honest.
Okay, so that's Friday, May 4th, and that's the last thing on the
No,
calendar.
Oh, no, no.
bad calendar. Go
Oh.
ahead.
Well, there's one more, and I don't know. This should be the biggest thing on the calendar. We got a birthday this Friday, and it's Manny's.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yes. Remember last year we had a candle and a lemon?
Rafa,
What
you
was
have
it?
that visual
we had a
right there?
match and a lemon.
Yeah, you've been on it the whole time. There you are.
No, you have
The match and the lemon?
I don't.
Throw Chico up there. You got that?
I
think
don't.
that's a
I don't have a
big
visual
deal.
for you.
We're gonna give a shout
Those
out
have
to
to be
Manny.
preloaded.
Oh, it does.
Tell me when I'm ready.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little birthday party down at the Ritz at Dune on Friday night, Friday the 13th, 6 to 9. Come on
Is your
down.
birthday on the 14th?
My birthday's on Friday the 13th.
It's on the
Come on
13th.
down.
I'm
The
sorry.
trivia winner, Rafa, whoever that is,
Mhm.
can come down and get a free drink.
Oh,
Everybody else has to buy their own drinks.
there's already a trivia winner. So
All
that's
right, perfect.
Oh,
So we're gonna
okay.
reach out to you.
Don't forget to
Actually,
bring
we're
your
gonna have
key
a couple
cards.
bottles
Don't forget to
there.
bring your key cards. All right, go to the concierge if you don't have it yet.
No,
It's
we'll
right
we'll
in that
have
page.
we'll have some bottles down there, and whatever you can mix and match. If you don't like it, you can get your own. But
I have to
should be a
say,
good time.
I had the best time at your birthday last year. So
Well, I did too because
yeah,
you guys were there.
It
You
was
guys made it.
such a good night.
That was fun.
It was really
Yeah, it was good.
memorable and fun.
Thank
so
you.
So I'm
birthday
sure
celebration is always a good one.
All right, thank you very much.
this will probably be just as good.
Yeah, it should be good. BTG.
BTG,
Better than good.
baby.
Better than good. Better than good.
BTG. I have two things for the calendar. Number one, the Rotary Club book drive is happening right now.
Okay.
It started April 6th, goes through April 20th. There are drop boxes throughout the key. I know that they're geared more towards children's books, but they will take teenager, adult novels, whatever. And I think it's super nice. I think it's cool to participate in that. We all have books that we don't need to be sitting on our shelves anymore, that other people can really benefit from. And I love that the Rotary Club does that. And second is that on backtracking to April 14th, I feel like there's so much going on. One of the things going on Saturday, April 14th, is that at 4 p.m. At the Biscayne Nature Center, which is bumping right now, they keep having cool events, is this Brazilian dance company called Rasco. They're going to do a performance on the water at 4 p.m. And I've seen a little preview, like a little video preview, and it looks so cool. It's part of this initiative called National Water Dance, where on the same day at different locations throughout the nation, dancers are participating to bring awareness to all of the issues we have with our water, unfortunately. Something we talk about with the beach cleanup. But I think it'll be cool. But as the 4 p.m. Saturday at the Biscayne Nature Center. And I'm looking forward to I'll be there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's Miami Festival all month.
Yes, it is.
Poetry
Reminder.
Festival. There's events every single day. Check it out. Miami. Look it up. All right. This is the part of the show where we talk about whatever we want. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about? I will mention one thing. This is at least for the foreseeable future, this is the last Wednesday show. The next show, next Wednesday, we will not be doing a show.
Do Cannon and Jonathan know this?
And the
I miss you guys. I love you.
the Sunday we will be doing a show. So, yes, that's how it is.
Okay.
And Manny does know. Yeah, he
Yeah,
knows.
I'm
And
good
so
with that.
Oh,
everybody.
you're good with that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure,
good.
why
I'm
not?
happy.
But you know what?
I'm telling
Share
you.
share Rat Radio
Yeah.
with your friends on Facebook. This is the new medium right now. And so whenever the show is, it'll be then.
And then there's
And
the recording after.
you
You
can
know,
watch
you
it
can always
after.
catch it later. And we
But,
put the show notes so you can see.
Special shout out and thank you to everybody today that was on there. We had a huge group up there. I think we were up to like 24 viewers at one time. That's huge. For us, Dana, before that, I think we had 3 maximum viewers at one time.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna push that. I've got a good one for you though on this end of the show thing that I really wanted to bring up on what happened on your weekend. You're gonna like this, you guys. So, Saturday afternoon, I wake up from a quick little nap, and my husband's got like 3 guys at the house with all the stuff I'd made the night before on a platter, and they're watching English Premier League because Champions League. Manchester City is my husband's team. And so I'm in the pool with my daughter then, and all of a sudden there is a bar in front of my house on wheels. Ganley's Bar. I mean, this was like a joke. You could not believe it.
Who called that Balestra?
No, he didn't. It was Miguel from KB Car Wash was washing everyone's car. Because on Saturdays they wash our car. He washed like 5 cars in my driveway that day. It's his buddy, apparently. He called him and said, there's like 5 guys watching soccer at the Joffreys on North Mashta. Come on over.
No way.
And so I'm in the pool with my daughter, and I don't know what's going on. I'm like, why is everybody going onto the street? And I ran out in my bikini. I'm not joking. I'm totally out of the pool in my bikini with my daughter, taking a picture of my husband and his friends getting pizza and beer at this truck in front of our house. It was the coolest thing ever.
Were they streaming the game too, or?
Yeah, they still had the game going on, but they went out to have a break and get a beer and a pizza.
From the
No,
bar.
Oh, no,
truck
not
didn't
from the
have
bar.
it.
No. Although that
Exactly.
would be a good touch. And apparently, and a shout out to Key Biscayne Presbyterian, they're having, I think their fundraiser is this Sunday, the Stone Crab during the day thing.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
the Presbyterian school. I believe that bar is going to be there. My friend Bruno told me that. So this guy is, I believe he's Argentinian. He serves pizza and beer out of this really cool looking bar. If I could show you a visual, I don't know if that would work here.
You could put it up to the screen
I'll
or
put it up
something.
to the screen. It's so
Well,
cool.
like Marcelo style or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's I didn't taste anything because I was just hanging out with my daughter. I'm
Yeah.
not having beer and pizza. But, it's really cool.
Did they have full liquor?
No, just beer and pizza, but that would be cool, right?
That would be.
Wait.
That's the next step.
Before I forget, quickly, and we can go back to it. What is this cross bridge at the church thing?
That's like a
We can go back
branding
to
that they
that.
put on the
Okay,
church.
so what is it?
I don't know.
Okay, so can you see this picture?
Get a little
Do you know
closer.
what it is?
There you go.
Ganley's Bar. That's my husband and his friend.
It looks like they're hanging out like at an actual spot. You can't even tell it's a
just
truck.
in front of my driveway. It's pretty cool.
Who is this guy?
I
Let's
don't,
bring
I
him on
don't
to
know.
the-
Yeah, I think he'd be interesting to have on. Shout out to Miguel from KB Car Wash. Love him. He can take care of so many things.
So I like that question that you went to too. The cross bridge. What is that at the church? Why do they have like
I
flags and it
don't
says
know what
Cross
it
Bridge
is. I'm
Church?
very
Why
confused.
don't we put that on our list for next week?
No, wait. What do you know about it, Dana?
Here's what I
You
know.
look like you know
I do.
something.
I have
Okay.
I have a friend on Facebook who's really into going to this church, and she's from off the Key. I know it seems to me, and I am not a spokesperson for them, and I cannot speak fluently on this, that it is a church where it's different than what the traditional Key Biscayne Presbyterian Church was, and they have perhaps their own ministry that comes in on Sundays, and they play a lot of kind of that jazzy music, a little pop kind of music.
Christian rock-ish.
Christian rock, yes, exactly. And so that's what it seems to be. Again, I feel bad
So
if
they're
I'm
taking
speaking
over?
incorrectly.
Is
but
it once a week or
on Sundays, it seems to be. Yeah, I know. I was confused as well. But maybe someone could come clarify.
We'll find out. For
But they
next
definitely
week,
have a
right?
following, and people seem to really like it.
Anything positive is good.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm confused.
No,
that's just
I
not-
agree- but I agree
You're
with
right, but it's
Manny.
like cheesy to say. Like, it is positive, is good. Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure,
funny.
though. It's their
Manny is the
faith.
most positive vibe guy,
Yeah.
And
Hey,
we're
but
gonna find
guys,
out
if
for
people
next
are
week.
enjoying it and they're able to, feel something positive out of their faith, what's wrong with that?
In that sense,
Yeah.
yeah. No.
Go
I just
there.
thought. Manny.
Go there.
Wait. Manny's yelling at people. Let's see. Oh,
I
there's.
scared those people at the haunted hike so bad last
Oh,
year.
is that why?
Oh,
I
that's why?
recognized them, yeah. Don't go there. Did you go to that, Mackie?
Are we just talking?
All right, let's
whatever?
wrap it up.
Are we wrapping it up? Or
Yeah,
we just
we're at an hour.
chit-chatting? 'Cause
Oh,
I
you-
have stories.
Oh,
to
you're in a
tell.
hurry. Someone's in a hurry. What is
Not in a
the?
hurry, but
Have
you
the
know,
pasta
we-
dinner going on or something?
I have
pasta
a story.
dinner. Mm.
Oh, okay.
Because it's funny. And because we always talk about the KB Booter, but we never give a visual.
Oh,
And I finally
gosh.
got my first visual of the KB Booter, and I want to paint it for our audience. We always talk about KB Booter, this guy sucks,
Hate him,
this guy
hate
sucks, da-da-da. But so on Sunday, I passed by the Rusty Pelican, ends up, whatever, it was stormy and rainy, and there was an event. I didn't end up doing anything. But I came across a massive black SUV, tricked out, tints, with like white lights, just like a cop's flashes. This white light was flashing. Freaking guy with a vest, looked like he was part of like SWAT team movie premiere galore, with a black cap and some black glasses. And he was walking around with his hands on his waist. I don't know if he is KB Booter or if he was rented or paid by KB Booter. Guys, I didn't know it was so intense. I didn't know the visual.
Oh, that guy dresses like a military contractor.
Oh, and he walks like one too.
He's got the freaking vest and everything.
Dude, what is this? I thought it was like some guy that in his like little car and went and put the boot. It is a whole operation. Okay, there's lights and there's a black SUV. What?
It's
And I
because
heard he can be confrontational.
I'm sure he's
I had a
the
confrontation
booter.
with him.
He wears a bulletproof vest.
Well, that's
does.
But that's because he gets threatened like every single time he does his job.
So-
But this is ridiculous,
I
you
even-
guys. Come on, let's get real talk here. That's ridiculous.
And wait,
Something
is that
needs to be
Key
done
Biscayne?
about
Why
this.
is the Key Biscayne booter
every time
over there?
Every time I say to him, I see him, I flick him off and say "F you" and yell it loud.
You
Good for
do?
you.
I swear to God.
You're a
Every
bad
single time.
What
person.
does he
That's
do to
horrible.
you?
Huh?
What does he do then?
Nothing. He just kind of sees me go by.
Why do you do that, though?
I know where he parks
Because
his car. We should boot him.
I want him to feel unwelcome.
Hold on, though.
I
Who's
want him to
hiring
feel
him?
unwelcome.
Who's hiring him?
All these.
But
Everybody
that's
in the
BS,
malls.
guys. We're all in this together, and if he's making people uncomfortable, he made my friend who was carrying her baby very uncomfortable, and that bothers me. I don't know who this guy is, but we're all in this island community.
I think he's
together.
a
That's so cool.
parasite. You know, he's just a leech. Like
It's a bad profession.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, the guy's thriving.
I get that.
Well,
but
that's
I mean,
the worst part. Is that that's his company.
Oh, there's
right?
always
Like,
going to
he
be the
chose.
guys who are like, "Hey, let him do whatever he wants to do."
No, man,
you know?
you're
No.
choosing to
No.
live your life that way.
You
That's
put Dana
pretty
Joffrey
crappy.
on him. You know
There's
what?
There's
Yeah.
better ways to live your life. and
I-
you're
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
I'm
I have
sorry.
chased down speeders on Mashta Island countless times to the point now we have speed bumps. I went to council meetings and all. And I don't care. I started to feel like I was one of those moms in one of those movies. And I don't mind because you know what? Those are kids. Those are kids
Yeah.
that could get hurt.
No,
Well,
but
I
Kid
agree.
Booter. But the problem is that he doesn't work for a company, right? That is his company.
Yeah,
That's our
he is
hatred
the guy.
towards him, right?
He is
Okay.
he is taking advantage of all his neighbors, and
Yeah.
that's what he chose to do with
And he
his
lives
life.
on
And
Key.
you know what?
Well, he lives in the Ambassador. If you're
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's done really well for himself, but
Yeah, clearly
you
he
know,
bought this cool car
Actually,
with
yeah,
lights.
there's a lot of people who do unethical stuff that do very well for themselves.
Well,
you know
let's
what
talk
I mean?
more about that on the key. What should we do about these people?
Well, we tried.
Boot
we
'em.
tried to
Flick
get some
'em off.
regulation, but we never
Apparently.
we never got it. Apparently, Miami-Dade does regulate booters and how much they can charge. So next time you get booted, or if
Okay.
it happens to you or a friend, make sure he's charging you exactly Miami-Dade rates
Which
and
is?
not a dollar over.
Do
I
we
couldn't
know?
tell you right now, but I'm sure you can
Okay.
look that
Maybe
up
you guys
on
should
your
get-
phone in the moment. Like that's not a problem. When this happens to you, don't worry. You'll be pacing around your car for a good long minute before you agree to take the boot off. You'll have enough time to look up.
But
what
You
the-
gotta call
what
him
the-
at like
what the
4:30 in the
regulations
morning
are.
when you want the boot off.
Rafa, we got
Yeah.
a picture of the booter. Can you put it up, please?
Yeah, and Rafa, here's another thing, though, an idea for your show since I'm a guest. You should have a segment where people can call in about things they're uncomfortable about, people who are making them uncomfortable on the key. And, you know, sometimes you don't feel like you can go and do anything else about it, but maybe you guys can. Kind of like a little
Well, we
community
don't
forum.
also want to be like the vigilantes out here.
Oh,
you know
I
what
do.
I mean?
You put me on that.
That's a
No.
little much.
We
you know?
like to be
I know,
positive,
but-
except about the Cape.
Positive, yes, but
if you're
come on.
but if you're running a business, then it's a different story. You know, it's not just like hearsay. It's like it's what it is. So
Wait, question: what is he doing at Rusty Pelican? Is that considered KB booting?
yeah. Oh, he's like in Miami and everything.
Oh, he is? I didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
that.
This guy's going worldwide.
He's using
He's
our
like-
name to something
That's
so
not
negative
cool.
and
Dude,
crappy.
he's like
Whack.
Freebie and Line Bike. They all started on the key, and now they're going viral.
Where's Freebie going?
Next up, fill a bag.
Where's Freebie going?
Freebies already in
Freebies
Brickell
Wynwood,
and stuff.
in
Wow.
Edinburgh,
Freebies in places.
Surfside,
Yeah, that was a big concept.
all over. Yeah.
I would like to ask whoever's parking their line bike in front of my house on my new grass to stop. I keep moving it.
Yeah.
One more thing to say.
Why don't you take that bike back homeward?
Good one, Manny. As long as I get a Greek salad out of it.
Yeah, hey, Ricky just texted me. He's got hummus at home, so everything's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah, that's practically gone.
good. By now it is probably.
Okay. Well, if we got nothing else, I'll see you guys on Friday for Manny's birthday. I want to thank
Yeah, come on out.
our guests, Dana and Kelly, for coming out.
Awesome
Thank
job,
you, thank you,
girls.
thank you.
Awesome job.
Mac, are
Thank
you?
very
You're not.
much.
You're not technically a guest.
He's not
right?
a
Yeah,
guest.
he's a regular. All right. I want to remind you guys that we won't be on next Wednesday, but we will on next Sunday, the one following that Wednesday. And check us out. Share these videos on Facebook. Comment for us. All that stuff really helps us out, and it gets the word out. So we can grow this little show into something even better than it is now. If you're enjoying
Great
it now,
work,
we're
Rafa.
gonna make
Thank
it
you
even
very
better.
much. Thanks for
Thanks
having
for
us.
having
great.
us.
Okay. On that note, let's say goodbye. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye.
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 Bye.